Aye, he had seen with his own eyes what was to come as he lay in the cold dark room, moans filling the air, the candles casting wicked shadows on the walls. In 2 days' time he would perish. In truth, he had no desire to live. The sickness had taken half his clan. Many battles had taken more. His brother was dead. His wife and children had gone to live with her family, unless they too had already perished from this wretched illness. Nay, let him die, for those who survived the plague sent from the devil ended up witless and deformed. Duncan would rather die, though he wished for a cup of ale before death took him. A soft meow came from the darkness as a black cat, eyes emerald, wriggled its way through the hole at the bottom of the cell door. The cat sat for a moment in the small bit of moonlight cast on the floor from the small window. Thanks to the wee cat, there were no rats in his cell. He heard others calling out, screaming in terror in the dark as the vermin grew bolder, creeping closer to those poor, unfortunate souls. His cousin's keep was full of the sick and the dying, thrown in the dungeons so they wouldn't make the living sick. It had not gone as his cousin hoped. The clinking sound came again. Ach, was the cat a ghost, or 'twas the fever taking him? Duncan found he did not wish to go. He was but 62 and had much to do yet with his life. If he lived, he would find his brother's wife and children, provide for them until the end of his days. Cold metal touched his hand as the cat patted over and butted his palm with its head. "What have you brought, you wee beastie?" Duncan ran his hand along the soft fur. When he touched the cool metal, he grinned. "Did an angel send you, then?" The cat meowed, turned, and with its tail now held high in the air, left the cell, leaving Duncan in possession of the keys to his freedom. Slow and steady, he pushed up, leaning against the wall, until he stood, swaying in the dim light. He looked to the small barred window at the top of the cell, and as he watched, the clouds covered the moon. A good night to escape, if he did not perish in the trying. One foot in front of the other. He stopped 3 times to rest, shivering in the cold, before his hand touched the scarred wood of the door. 'Twas late. The guard was asleep in his cups. Duncan held the keys tight so they would not make noise as he tried them, one by one. The third key clicked, and the door swung open. Blinking, Duncan shook his head to clear the fever. But nay, he swayed, fell to his knees, and held his breath, waiting for the guard to kick him back into the cell. When no one came, Duncan staggered to his feet, stumbled down the dimly lit corridor, and turned the corner to where another guard slumped over the table, a tankard of ale turned on its side. He left the keys on the table, grinning as the guard snored loud enough to scare the angel of death away. Turning, a glint of steel caught his eye. Aye, 'twas his sword and dirks. His cousin and his lady wife were a superstitious lot, believing if they killed all those with the sickness, death would spare them. The others he passed in the dungeon were too far gone for him to save. Duncan prayed they would die before the dawn, spared seeing their own kinsmen killing each other. His weapons back where they belonged, Duncan leaned against the icy wall, grateful for the cold that kept him moving. When he caught his breath, he crept up the steps, stopping to sway back and forth, praying he would not fall. Men who had not caught the illness slept in the great hall, plaids wrapped around them to keep warm in the winter. Freedom waited in the enchanted wood, for few would dare to enter the forest, especially during a full moon.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.